Breaking tonight, a viral outbreak in China prompts the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, to issue a travel warning. More than 7,000 cases of this disease have been reported so far. State Department correspondent Jillian Turner has details tonight, live from the State Department. Good evening, Jillian.
Good evening, Brett. The CDC, as you mentioned, is warning Americans traveling to China about chikungunya. It is a virus that spreads to humans through infected mosquito bites. It can cause severe illness with symptoms that mimic pretty closely dengue fever and Zika virus, mostly found in Africa. Here's what the CDC says about it. They say most people infected get better within a week. However, some can have severe joint pain for months to years. Other symptoms include severe fever and fatigue. The outbreak now is in the Chinese province Guangdong. It's near Hong Kong, with more than 7,000 cases reported so far, prompting some pretty dramatic measures to contain the spread, like mandatory insect repellent blasts for people entering the area, mandatory property checks for stagnant water, which attracts mosquitoes, and when found is now punishable by fines or even arrest.
Well. If you happen to get this, they're quarantining you in hospitals with mosquito netting and not letting you out for a week. These are the kind of draconian responses we saw with COVID. We're seeing it again.
The CDC says Americans traveling to 8 other countries are also at elevated risk of exposure to the virus, even if there is no current outbreak there. People at risk for more severe cases of chikungunya include newborns, seniors 65 years and up, as well as people with diabetes or heart disease. Now, the good news is that unlike COVID, deaths from this disease are exceedingly rare. You can also protect yourself by getting vaccinated against it or by preventing mosquito bites in the first place through all the usual mechanisms, insect repellent, netting, wearing long sleeves, and staying in air conditioning. Brett.
Jillian Turner, live at the State Department. Jillian, thank you.
Man,
well, what do they have going on in China?
It seems like every time we look up, it's a new outbreak in China. I'm sorry, man.
They got too many people. I was about to say they're dirty, but let me not be rude.
Well, they're probably more clean than America.
Are they? But I know they got too many people.
So L.A. compared to China, their capital.
I don't see no viruses breaking out in China, in L.A.
Bro, I feel like they making it. I'm sorry, y'all can call me conspiracy theorist.
I don't really think it's a conspiracy. We know that they are doing that.
The first one, I mean,
hey, they
just common knowledge.
I feel like they showing us what they're trying to do. Bio warfare right now, but I might be boosting y'all. You know, I be saying some out of the wall stuff right now.
It's a real possibility.
A shocking case out of Richmond. A man was declared brain dead and was prepared to donate his organs, though hard to believe he was in fact alive.
Kylie Hill sat down with the man's sister today and learns more about the day she says altered their lives forever.
Donna Rohrer says her brother is a shell of the person he used to be.
TJ was an outdoorsman. He liked to be in the woods, and he says his favorite thing was to watch the deer. He loved camping, hiking, all things outdoor. And everything, like his life's been stripped away from him.
Her brother, 36-year-old TJ Hoover, had his life changed forever. On October 25th, 2021, he was admitted to Baptist Health Richmond's emergency room. He was experiencing cardiac arrest and was deemed code blue.
We were told TJ had no reflexes, no responses, no brain waves, no brain activity. And we were told that the 26th, the 27th, 28th, and 29th. And the 27th, we made the decision as a family to remove him from life support because, you know, he was brain dead.
Because of that declaration, they decided to honor TJ's wishes as an organ donor.
We had his honor walk, but almost as soon as his honor walk started, his eyes started opening, and not just opening, he was tracking around looking to see, you know, what was going on. And we were told that was just reflexes, just a normal instinct. He's not there.
But that wasn't the case. In fact, he wasn't dead. He was very much alive.
It's a matter of life and death. You know, it's more than frustration. I feel like they were trying to choose my brother. They were going to sacrifice my brother's life to save how many ever other people.
Donna didn't know about any of this until the beginning of this year, when Nicoletta Martin, a surgical preservation coordinator, contacted her. She was on first call for Kentucky Organ Donor Affiliates, or CODA, and was on her way to the OR to take over care. That's when she received a horrifying phone call.
He was then thrashing around, crying, trying to pull his tube out. He was pushing everybody's hands away that were trying to prep and drape him for surgery. And it's kind of crazy, but the doctors decided we're absolutely not going to do this case. The CODA coordinator that was on site that day actually called CODA's admin for some guidance and was told, you will find another surgeon or you'll lose your job because we're going to complete this case.
She said nobody, not even TJ himself, could believe what was happening.
TJ has a lot of short-term memory problems, but TJ knows what happened. TJ says, why me? Why did they want my organs? And TJ feels guilt still about, he did not die so that people could get his organs to save their lives.
Guilt?
That's horrific to me. Nobody should ever be put in that position. That's not what this mission is about.
An unlikely bond. Now, both Donna and Nicoletta are demanding answers.
When TJ woke up, why was he then sedated and paralyzed instead of taken back to the ICU immediately to have a repeat neuro exam? Why was TJ's life not honored and he treated like a patient?
Network for Hope did release a statement to us regarding this case. They said, quote, while we cannot discuss specific case details, we are concerned by the way this case has been misrepresented. We regularly review our internal practices and remain committed to fulfilling our mission of saving lives through donation while respecting and caring for donors and their families, as well as prioritizing patient safety, end quote.
The more that comes out, it's still shocking for me.
Where's TJ at?
I said it's everyone else's story, it's our reality.
But they said he was alive.
And it's shocking to hear some of what he went through.
Kylie Hill, Fox 56 News.
Imagine.
That is insane.
Imagine dying and they immediately was finna take your organs.
He wasn't dead.
But
they said he was declared dead.
Yeah. They said he was declared brain dead.
That's dead.
They said They said he was dead. They was finna take his organs off.
Brain dead.
They was taking him off life support.
Yeah, because he was brain dead.
And that's what you should.
You'd have been a
that's when you
vegetable.
pass, when they take away the life support. But
Yeah.
he did not pass, so he was still alive. He was trying to pull. That is like the highest level of trauma, probably.
That is insane.
So, like,
they say he has
trust
like
these people.
memory problems and he's not the same. You know why he's probably messed up? It's because they pulled the life support, so his body was just like in fight or flight.
But that's crazy. Like they immediately took him to surgery to take his organs out. They didn't put him
That
in no
quick.
fridge.
We
They
didn't
didn't do nothing.
confirm it.
They didn't even let him die.
That's insane.
They just said, "Oh, life support. Oh, take his organs. Take them while they're fresh and still in operation."
Wow.
My God.
That's pretty crazy stuff.
Wow. You cannot trust these medical professionals. These people actually, I do believe that some of them have your best interests at heart and they really do what they do because they have a passion for it. But then there's others in situations like this that make you really question, like, who can you trust,
Yeah, so what we've just seen is pretty crazy. We've got a lot of health things going on. More outbreaks in China. The hospitals are really sketchy, as we've seen. So, I mean, it's more important now than ever to speak with a health expert. So this isn't a solitary case. There was a thorough investigation during the Biden administration showing that this type of thing happens all the time. What is the Trump administration currently doing to fix this?
Well, this is so sickening. It's so evil. And the whole thing here is RFK Jr., thank goodness he's in office now because he thinks this was horrific. And he is going to investigate and find out what all is involved here and set this right, because they did some investigation and they found out that, this is prevalent throughout the country, but the majority of it is in the largest part is in Kentucky. And they did the invest and they found out that out of 351 cases, more than 28 patients weren't dead yet. How horrific is this? And so, they're finding out that this is very prevalent more in rural hospitals and smaller hospitals. And so he's really going to go after the whole organ procurement, the whole thing there and write it and make sure that the people that want to do the right thing and donate their organs are handled properly, that they're not setting up on a gurney as they're wheeling them in to remove their organs and they're really alive, So this is This is scary. And what I pray for every day, and I want everybody watching to pray for, that all those missing children, I hope that they're not involved with this, because this is, this is something. This is scary enough, because think of this. What if you were an organ donor and you're on a gurney and you're being wheeled in to donate your organs, and you open your eyes or your hands start to move and they just go ahead and take you in? This has got to be righted. This is a scary thing that he has to do the right thing. And we want to take care of all of our organs, to be the healthiest we can be for the longest we can be, and especially our heart. Our heart has to be healthy, and, that's an important thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, see, I never really knew that the heart was actually an organ. So what types of things can we do to make sure that we keep that healthy,
Well, keeping the heart healthy is so important, because it's the number one killer. People are dying the most all across the world of heart attacks and strokes. And here's another thing that people need to know how to, why their heart is having such a problem these days, is microplastics are being found in the blood clots. They've done studies of people that have heart attacks and have strokes, and they're finding in blood clots microplastics and nanoplastics. And this is increasing the rate of the heart attacks and strokes in people. So this is something that we really have to be aware of, and it's all over the place, these microplastics.
So how are these microplastics getting into our body?
They're getting into our body. We're inundated from the air, the water, and the soil. Here's what happens, guys. Elon Musk sends up a rocket. And I don't know why he's got to send up all these rockets with all these satellites in it. Like 3/4 of the satellites up in the atmosphere, up in space, are Elon Musk's. I don't know if we're playing out the role of the Matrix, the movie, where we're all going to be connected to the satellites up there. Who knows? It's crazy town. But every time they send a rocket up, all those rockets, the satellites, they've got microplastics in them. The fuel that they use is loaded up with microplastics. So when these things shoot up and you see all this fuel and coming out of it, we're being inundated with microplastics. When the satellites start to disintegrate and fall back to Earth, microplastics are coming off of them. It's everywhere. It's in the Arctic. It's in the Antarctica. It's in the lowest parts of the ocean, in the Mariana Trenches. So how do we get this? We get it falling down on us. It goes in our water. When we irrigate our crops, now the crops are getting inundated with microplastics. So it's going in our fruit and vegetables. It's going in the food chain when the cattle are eating the grasses that that they're eating for food. Now that's in their body and tissues. So when we eat the meat, when we drink the dairy, when we eat the seafood from the oceans that are just contaminated with these microplastics. Here's another thing: clothing. People are wearing recycled plastic. And plastic's made from chemicals. It's made from petroleum chemicals. And so when we recycle, thinking we're doing a good thing, and we're making shoes, and we're making yoga pants, and we're making underwear out of these microplastics, heat really strengthens the microplastic chemical bonds. And then when heat and sweat, when you wear these things that are supposed to wick away from your body, the water and the sweat, your skin's your largest organ. So guess what? Your body sucks in more chemicals. So all this has to change in your house, in your carpet, in your upholstery. All of this, we're surrounded in the food containers. And then what happens is now we are having the devastating effects of the microplastics that are causing so much problem in our body. We have our liver that won't function properly. When your liver doesn't function properly and it gets scarring on it from these microplastics tearing up the inside of our body, and now it's starting to bother our metabolism. So we see more people becoming obese, diabetic. Our metabolisms are all messed up. We can't function properly. We're seeing it in the liver as well as the reproductive system. I mean, when you're wearing these, everybody needs to go to tidy whities again, cotton tidy whities, because your reproduction rate goes down. It's been proven. People that are working in the textile industry, they have erectile dysfunction from inhaling the microplastics that are coming off of these fabrics they're making out of the chemicals, the polyesters. Then we have kidneys. Our kidneys can't function right because the microplastics get in there and clog up those fine little tubes that the kidneys are made of in order to release toxins out of our body. This is everywhere, and it is just it's tearing our guts up. It's tearing our microbiome up. It is making the bad bacteria, the yeast and the fungus, have overgrowth because our gut can't function right. So this is really wreaking havoc on our bodies, and it's everywhere.
Wow.
Goodness gracious.
That is insane.
That is crazy.
That is absolutely insane. So it almost sounds like they're unavoidable.
They are so unavoidable. And, have you guys seen this article that now our brains are 0.5% plastic? I mean,
Wow.
this is so scary because they did a study at the University of New Mexico, and that's what this article is based on. And they used cadavers. And so what they did is they went in and they checked out their brains and they tested them for plastics, for microplastics and nanoplastics. They did one study in 2016, and last year they did another study. And you can see there's a teaspoon in people's brain now, about a teaspoon's worth in their brain, which is about 7 grams. Like if you had a plastic spoon, one of those heavier plastic spoons, you would see this. And it's just incredible what is going on in our body, that the brain is the fattiest organ in our body. These microplastics are attracted to fat. So they lodge in our brain, they lodge in the liver, which is a fatty organ, they lodge in our kidneys, which is a fatty organ, and they lodge in the fat cells, making everybody more fat, because the body doesn't know what to do with it. And it's just storing it there, trying to get it out of the way so the body could try and function. So, this is 50% higher now, the amount of microplastics in our brain, than it was in 2016. And some of these cadavers had Alzheimer's. And that's even adds 10% to that 50%. So it's 60% higher in people that have brain disorders now. This is crazy. And here's the thing, guys. Even if you were to take and just wear cotton clothing and get rid of all of your plastic things in your kitchen and in your house and do whatever you could, it's not enough to simply try and avoid it. And, the thing is, when I found this out, I said, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to help people get these chemicals, these petrochemicals out of their body. How in the world can we do this? And so I knew that when we have a healthy gut, that when you have all the good guys when you have an abundance of them in the gut, that they can help break down things that shouldn't be there, break down parasites and yeasts and molds and fungus, and break them down into substances that will not hurt you. But then I found an article that really backed that up, where it really shows that we'll break down the toxins if you're eating kimchi. And kimchi is such a magical food that God has given us, this fermented food. And funny enough, Robert Kennedy Jr., I saw him on TV today, and he said that his diet is meat, and kimchi's changed his life. He eats kimchi. And so that's his main part of his diet is, the meat and the fermented food kimchi. So I thought that was really exciting to hear that the number one guy that's trying to make us all healthy, make America healthy again, loves kimchi. And what really got me excited was when I found a study that showed that there's a unique strain of bacteria in kimchi, and it's called Bacillus pumilus. And this just thrilled me to no end, because it says it degrades these microplastics. It degrades BPA, which is the main ingredient in the microplastics. And this was so exciting because nothing degrades these things. Like when they're in landfills And you've got, landfills are being burnt off with all these microplastics. So that's going up into the air too in the countries with low income. But when you have them in the soil, they're there for a long time, and heat makes them stronger. So the sun shining down on it makes them stronger. So to see that this can be degraded in our body with this strain that's found in kimchi really got me excited. And then there was a 2025 study too that showed me there were 2 more additional good bacteria that were found in kimchi that now, once the Bacillus pumilus degraded these plastics, then the 2 other specific probiotics that are in kimchi can encapsulate, bind these things, and flush them out of the body. How incredible is that? God has given us this incredible food.
Wow. That is incredible. And your company, you guys create the Kimchi One supplement. Would you say that all these health benefits is why you guys created that?
Well, that and just there's so many other ones. I mean, we created it because a lot of people don't like the flavor, the taste of it. It's, been used for centuries in Korea, and they have different taste buds over there. But Americans, their taste buds are almost, they're so altered with all of the ultra processed foods we've eaten and all the sugar and everything. So this food tastes, different to them, and it smells different. So we said, let's give them the benefits and put this in a capsule. And we, the way that we cold process dry, we're able to retain all the good bacterias and the enzymes and all the things that would be in live kimchi. And what we see with people, guys, they tell us and they share with us, our customers, they call us back and they say, the first thing that I noticed was my digestion got better. I'm not burping as much. I'm not belching. I don't have gas every time I eat. My bloating's gone down. I don't have diarrhea anymore. I don't have constipation anymore. They notice that first. Then they say their skin changes. They've had skin problems. Skin is directly related to the gut health. And so they're seeing their skin improve. Their hair is improving. They now have they have smaller waistlines, they're telling us. Their clothes are fitting them differently. They're having to buy different size clothing because they're losing weight. Their waistlines are reducing. And there was actually a study done on this that showed kimchi, if you eat it every single day, this is what happens. Now, this is a food, and you need to eat it every single day. As I said, we're being bombarded with the chemicals, with the microplastics. You can't eat this once in a while because your body is so bombarded with these things. You have to eat this every day. So by putting it in a capsule, we knew that people would be more inclined to eat this every day, to take it every day, 3 capsules a day. So that's why we did it. And it's non-GMO, made in the USA, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free. And so it's very convenient for people to take and utilize and get these microplastics out of our body that are harming our heart, giving us more strokes. The whole thing here, guys, really can improve your health.
Definitely.
Wow. Let him get down.
I was going to say something. I wasn't going to read it. I would be a shameless plug here. I love the Kimchi One. I've gone through 3 bottles of it myself. I love the stuff.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so glad to hear that.
Well, Kim, do you have a special offer for our viewers?
Yes, I do, guys. For your Cartier family viewers, 25% off with code Cartier. Go to mybrightcore.com/Cartier. Or what I really like for you guys to do is call in and get that up to 50% off of your order, get free shipping, and we'll actually include a free bottle of vitamin D3 for your first 100 callers off of this video. So call 888-350-6128. And you can get up to 50% off that free bottle of vitamin D if you're one of the first 100 callers, and free shipping. That's 888-350-6128.
Wow.
Awesome. Thank
you so much, Kim. This is very cool, especially with where we're at right now in the world, in America specifically, with, the diet. America has a health problem. So we're on the same track as RFK and Trump. We genuinely want America to be more healthy. So we really appreciate you and just teaching us all about this stuff, because I had never heard about any of that stuff. So getting to learn all that is very valuable. And I know that I'm about to be on that kimchi daily, because I've been doing it too, but not as consistent as Brandon. So I'm about to get better. Every time I talk to you, it's like, okay, I need more kimchi in my life for sure.
I have to say this one thing. I started taking kimchi I literally, at first, I was not sweating in my pores, and I actually started taking it consistently, and I'm actually started sweating every day when I go outside. Like, literally, I've been seeing results.
That's awesome. Your skin's improving. So it naturally, you're supposed to sweat, and that's one of the ways that you get the toxins out of the body. So this is great to hear that. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. So, all right, guys, 50% off plus free shipping if you call. So if I'm you, I'm calling. I need that. I need that deal. Like, this is for the Cartier family viewers. If you want that deal, just call them up and get you some kimchi, y'all. It's affordable. You know, you see with God, all things are possible. This is a Christian company. You know, they have good values. They're good people, guys. So go get that kimchi.
Thank you, guys. God bless you all. And you continue with your good work.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for your time.